We haven't seen Bobby and Sally for a while, so our penultimate episode will focus on them. They're out in their diving gear exploring when they see this.
Bobby, did you see that?
Come on, we've got to stop him.
He's actually spearfishing on Seamount, which is a known marine reserve. The kids confront him.
Just to get you two to calm down, I'll let you in on a secret. I've got a collecting permit with Dr. Williams' name on it.
Collecting permit?
In 2 weeks, this grouper will be swimming in the new International Marine Aquarium, along with 2 of everything living on your seamount.
He shot a standard fishing spear into that grouper, so I don't see it going anywhere but onto somebody's plate. The kids are really upset, especially when they learn that he's collecting everything from the tiny fish to the turtles, dolphins, and orcas. He has cages of various sizes set up all over the place to hold his captures. Contrary to what we might assume from the 2x2 thing, his name isn't Noah. He's Mr. Harlan.
What's all that stuff you're carrying?
Trapping gear.
Are you guys helping Mr. Harlan?
Those are our orders, Bobby.
You don't sound too happy about it.
I'll say. He said he's going to capture 2 of everything.
2 sea snakes, lobster, 2 of each species of sharks, dolphin, a pair of killer whales, male and female. The works.
Wow, is he after big game?
Do you have to take the dolphins?
Sorry, Sally, but we're supposed to cooperate. See you back in Sealab.
Nobody likes it, but orders are orders. However, nobody gave the kids any orders.
He's got our turtle.
Okay, go back and report to Dr. Williams that this guy is trying to kill the turtle. You don't ride one like that. It's as harmful as anything you could do. Turtles also breathe air, and that one doesn't have a way to get to the surface to breathe anybody. That should be enough to revoke his permit on the spot.
Open up that big cage and fast. Thanks. Time to get a pair of sea snakes.
Sea snakes.
Wow, I want to see that.
Good idea. Follow him and get a real close look.
Watch out.
Sally, get back.
Not that close. Those guys carry a wicked venom.
You tell these 2, Dr. Williams, to keep out of my way for their own safety.
One bite from those snakes, kids, and you'd be very sick or worse.
As a general rule, we don't spell out what that or worse is. The kids still don't think Mr. Harlan should be putting these animals into captivity. Next day, Hal, Ed, and Gail are out collecting moray eels for him.
Listen to what they're saying.
I hate to see animals caged, even morays.
I know what you mean, but it is our job.
See? They feel the same way we do.
As they're going to learn, everybody at Sealab feels the same way. They appeal to Dr. Williams.
We want you to tell Mr. Harlan not to catch the big animals. They won't be happy in that new aquarium.
You said a lot of times that dolphins and whales shouldn't be exploited.
They should also be protected by laws, given rights like people. I'd like to let them go, but aquariums are important, so we'd better do our job.
My youngest daughter adores dolphins. In 2009, my wife was a travel nurse, and her job took us to Maryland, just a few miles outside Washington, D.C. The Baltimore Aquarium with its dolphin show was within an easy drive, so we took our daughter to see it. Then we found out they had a dolphin encounter program where you could go behind the scenes, interact with the dolphins and the trainers and stuff. Our daughter's 19th birthday was coming up, and I said we have to do this for her. One of the main things I learned was the majority of their animals are rescues. They would take in animals that were found injured or abandoned or otherwise in peril. They weren't prisoners, they were patients. Aquariums like that one, the Seattle Aquarium, or any of the various others around the country focus on preservation and protection. We could see how much the handlers loved the dolphins, and it was easy to see that the dolphins loved them right back. If Mr. Harlan captures a pair of dolphins and takes them to this new aquarium, I can pretty well guarantee they will live the most pampered life they could ever imagine. The kids will appeal this thing to the Supreme Sealab Court, Captain Murphy, Bobby's grandfather. This should be easy. Grandpas are notorious pushovers.
I know how you two feel about the dolphins. I happen to think the same way, but I can't help you.
We know. You've got to follow orders.
But you're the captain.
If Sealab was in danger, I could overrule him, but
We understand, Grandfather.
It's the nature of human society that everybody answers to somebody. Nobody's at the top because there is no top. Or more precisely, where the top is and how to get there keeps changing, and it's always just out of reach. The brutal dictator will answer to the people they oppress. Just ask Benito Mussolini or Nicolae Ceausescu or Pol Pot. Kids their age don't understand that. To Bobby, his grandfather is the ultimate authority, and finding out that he's not is confusing the kids a little. Still, they feel that they have what they came for.
It's almost like the turtles were asking us to let them go.
I wish we could.
Everyone feels that way.
Here comes Mr. Harlan and the others.
What's that?
Must be some kind of a super trap. Maybe for a dolphin.
They've seen enough. Everybody at Sealab feels the same way they do, so early the next morning, they're up and in their gear.
You really think we should?
Everyone wants them free. Even your grandfather and Dr. Williams.
I don't know.
You heard what they said.
That's right. Dr. Williams said he'd like to let them go.
So let's do it.
Mr. Harlan is not happy. In other news, water is H2O.
Now, what's all this excitement about?
They're gone. The turtles, the rays, and those big groupers. Somebody let them out.
Calm down. If you're suggesting that Sealab's people,
Who else?
Dr. Williams, someone let those animals go.
or they freed themselves. As you both know, interspecies cooperation is more common than we used to believe.
He's right. An octopus could figure out those latches in seconds. He resumes his collecting, and the next morning the kids resume their project of converting his project to a catch and release program.
I believe you now.
And what are you going to do to stop this sabotage?
You continue with your work. Let me take care of the Sealab people.
What's wrong?
It's Dr. Williams. He's asking everyone about how the fish escaped.
What if he asks us?
We'd have to tell the truth.
Then let's hope he doesn't find us.
Sally's having second thoughts about what they're doing. The only place they can think of where they won't keep running into Dr. Williams is outside. They'll go diving.
We'll hang the hydrophone from the cage and start the tape recording tonight.
You really think that a recording of a wounded dolphin will lure them into your trap?
I'm counting on it.
This cage goes all the way to the surface. There's a ring of floats at the top to keep it in place, but keep things open to the air so the dolphins can breathe. Bobby said they can't just jump over the rim because they haven't been taught to. Dolphins don't need to be taught to jump. They do it for fun. And they're smart enough that it wouldn't take more than about a minute for them to figure out that a simple jump will remedy their situation. Maybe Bobby skipped school the day they talked about that. Harlan's lure is super effective. Soon he's caught several dolphins. He can pick out the boy and girl he wants and let the others go, or he can take all of them. But we have a few uninvited guests.
Maybe we can get them out of the mouth of the trap the way they swam in.
I can't open it.
Then we're locked in.
No, I didn't mean them. I meant these uninvited guests.
The distress call. It's luring the sharks too.
We here at Irving Zoo know that wouldn't happen. Even assuming there's a real injured dolphin, no shark of average intelligence would chance it because there's probably a pod of healthy dolphins with the one in distress. Sharks are afraid of dolphins, and with good reason. Dolphins can dodge, weave, and turn like a hockey player. Sharks can't. Their bodies are designed to go in a straight line. That means a single dolphin can literally swim circles around a shark. While it's doing that, that nose is ramming the shark from all sides, breaking cartilage, damaging internal organs. The shark can either get out of there or end up crab food on the bottom. We'll see the dolphins doing just that later on. Maybe these sharks haven't read that far in their textbooks yet.
Turn it off!
Too late.
Bobby, look what's happening.
The cage has ripped loose from its anchors, and a 3-knot current is dragging it, and the kids, away.
Emergency! Emergency! Sealab, emergency! Report to Sealab. Come in, Sealab. Nothing, I can't get through.
Check the water temperature.
I thought it felt colder. We've drifted into the thermocline.
And we can transmit through dense layer of cold water.
A thermocline is a line of division between warm water toward the surface and colder water below the level where the sun and air can warm the water. Dropping through one can be like walking out the door without a jacket on a cold, windy day. You get a sudden... They usually happen around 30 feet or thereabouts. We know Sealab is at least 10 times that deep, so if there's another thermocline way down there, they should be pulling out all their science gear and figuring out why. Still, the plot requires that the radio doesn't work, and we needed a reason.
Well, there it is.
The trap. It's gone.
And so are the dolphin. Definitely sabotage.
Sure looks like it.
It's time your Dr. Williams and I had it out.
He thinks 2 prepubescent kids were able to rip that whole thing out of the seafloor and hide it in their pockets? What does he suppose they did with it? At Sealab, they've discovered that Bobby and Sally are missing. You suppose there's a connection between that and the missing cage?
There's the edge of seamount.
Bobby, we've got to get out.
Or stop ourselves. If I can cut away those floats, the trap's gonna sink.
Bobby, you can't swim up there. You'll get the bends.
It should only take him a few seconds to cut the rope, and the treatment for the bends is going back down, which he has to do anyway.
We're sinking.
And there go the dolphin.
Will the sharks get them?
Not a chance, they're too fast. Hang on, we're going down.
You two aren't getting out of there the same way the dolphins did because...
Time for us to get out. Come on.
Bobby, I'm caught. I can't get free.
Too late, it's turning over. Hold on.
I've done that in a car, but I'll bet it's really wild when you're weightless underwater. Captain Murphy has a massive rescue operation underway, and Deep Diver finds and cuts them free just as Bobby is running low on air. I'll give them one thing. When Deep Diver spotted the kids, Bobby went like this to indicate he's out of air, which is how we do that. Once everyone is safe, the kids have some splaining to do.
You two really caused a lot of problems for us.
We just wanted to see the animals go free, like everyone said.
What do you mean, like everyone said?
Gail said she didn't want to see them caged.
Even Grandfather, Captain Murphy, said he wished he could stop the trapping.
Yeah, I seem to recall making such a remark. Of course, I really...
Mike, you know how young people are.
Dr. Williams, remember when we were by those holding tanks? You said, I'd like to let them go.
So you see, we were just doing what everyone wanted.
I'll have to admit, that's what I said.
When my kids were younger, they loved Adventures in Odyssey. I watched along with them, and my favorite character was Eugene, the clueless intellectual. In one episode, he made a statement that has stayed with me ever since because it's just so profound. The context doesn't matter. What he said was, I've got to start listening to myself more closely when I talk. Paul and Mike weren't quite that extreme, but as Paul pointed out, kids hear things differently than adults do. They said, "I'd like to release the critters, but..." Bobby and Sally stopped listening just before "but." They decided to go do what everyone wanted. They left it to the adults to fall back on their butts. Okay, slow down. Was a travel nurse. Come on, David, come on. Captain Murphy. Oh, for crying out loud, really? Murphy ought to jump. I flubbed that. Okay. I really need my arm to do this.